What if the thing you paid for still left you feeling unseen? Over the years, I've met hundreds of men. Gentle, nervous, charming, each one hoping to get it right, yet stumbling over the same invisible lines. Not out of malice, but out of silence. No one ever told them what we wish they knew. So today, I'm sharing not as a warning, but as an invitation to connect with presence, not assumptions. To understand, not to fix. If you're open to learning without shame, without ego, then you're already halfway there. Comment love if you're listening with your heart. One of the first men I ever met in this work was kind, quiet, and deeply curious. But curiosity can sometimes carry assumptions. He sat down gently, as if he feared disturbing something fragile. His opening question bypassed everything in the room and went straight into my history. "What led you to this kind of work?" he asked, voice soft, eyes lowered with careful pity. I've heard that question 100 times, always wrapped in concern, always assuming the story must be tragic. But here's the truth most people never consider. Some of us are not here because we were broken. Some of us chose this path for freedom, for clarity, for control over our time and selves. I wasn't running from anything. I was moving towards something I understood better than most. When a man walks in expecting to find damage, he misses who's actually sitting in front of him. And when kindness is laced with quiet judgment, it does not feel kind at all. It feels small. Respect doesn't begin with fixing someone. It begins with seeing them clearly, without the filter of your own fears. Then there was the man who treated me like a wound that needed healing. Not because I had asked for it, but because he needed to feel like a healer. He leaned forward, his voice wrapped in velvet, and whispered, "You don't belong in a place like this." I could feel the performance begin. The narrative where he becomes the rescuer. And I, the girl he gently pulls out of the dark. He believed his empathy made him special. What he didn't see was how that dynamic stole my autonomy. When you view someone as something to repair, you stop relating to them as a full person. You place yourself above them, gentle, yes, but still above. And that's not intimacy. That's ego in disguise. The men who try to heal us often don't realize they're rewriting our stories to serve their own roles. But I'm not here to be rewritten. I'm not a character in your redemption arc. I'm not here to make you feel good about your kindness. I'm here as myself, whole, aware, and not waiting to be saved by anyone. Then came the man who brought an envelope before he brought himself. He handed me the money before we even sat down, smiled, and said, "Just a little extra. I believe in treating people well." It was generous, no doubt, but the warmth didn't land. His words were rehearsed. His eyes scanned for approval. And when no instant spark arrived, he looked confused, almost disappointed. Many men carry the belief that generosity creates connection, that money given early and freely will unlock something deeper. But presence is not for sale. It cannot be purchased with politeness or softened by tips. What clients often forget is that emotional chemistry isn't transactional. A $100 bill might open the door, but it won't keep someone in the room. It won't make you feel seen. It won't build safety or desire. True presence doesn't announce itself with folded cash. It enters quietly with sincerity, attention, and no expectation in return. And when it does, that's when something real becomes possible. And then there was the man who did everything right, at least on paper. He held the door, pulled out my chair, ordered wine without asking. Every gesture elegant and polished, like a scene practiced too many times. "Ladies first," he smiled, as if it proved something. But somewhere between the appetizer and the scripted compliments, the room began to feel small. Not because he was unkind, but because he was performing. There's a kind of control that hides behind good manners. It looks like attentiveness, but it sounds like assumption. Real respect isn't about gestures. It's about space. It's about asking, not assuming. It's in the moments where a man waits to hear what I want instead of deciding for me. When someone treats connection like a checklist, it becomes mechanical. The chair is pulled, the wine is poured, but I'm not present in any of it. I'm just a role to complete. And that's the difference. Politeness makes things look smooth, but presence makes things feel real. A few weeks later, I met a man who arrived like he'd done this 100 times and believed that meant he already knew me. He sat down with a practiced ease and said, "I've been seeing girls for years. I know how this works." His tone was almost reassuring, like we could skip the part where we actually meet each other. But what he didn't realize is this: no amount of past experience can prepare you for a new person. When a client leads with certainty, there's no room for discovery. He's not meeting me. He's reliving memories, applying a template, performing a role he knows by heart. But I am not every woman he's met before. And this isn't a rerun. The most genuine moments I've ever shared didn't begin with confidence. They began with curiosity. The willingness to listen instead of assume. Because every encounter is its own fragile world, and when someone treats it like something new, it has a chance to become something honest. Then came the man who insisted he just wanted to talk, but whose eyes told a more complicated story. He said all the right things. No pressure, no expectations. I'm just here for conversation. But his body tensed when I moved. His silence grew heavier with every minute. And beneath his calm words was a current of something unspoken. It's not wrong to want something physical or something tender. But when a man hides behind politeness while hoping for something else, it leaves me guessing. And guessing kills ease. When clients aren't honest about what they want, it doesn't make things simpler. It makes them strained. I end up managing unspoken needs, interpreting mixed signals, and navigating invisible tension. That's not clarity. That's a performance neither of us agreed to. The truth is, honesty doesn't require precision, just presence. Just a simple, "I don't fully know what I need, but I want to be here," is enough. Because when the words match the energy in the room, trust has space to breathe. And finally, there was the man who believed his charm could bend the rules as long as he said it with a smile. He complimented me generously, told me he respected women, made a show of being the good guy. But as the night unfolded, his hands moved faster than his words, and his casual remarks began to shift. It wasn't aggressive, just subtle, entitled, as if politeness had earned him permission. What he missed is this: true respect lives in restraint. It's not in the things you say, but in the lines you don't cross, in the questions you choose not to ask, in the pauses you allow to remain quiet. Some of the most powerful moments I've experienced weren't loud or grand. They were built in silence, in space that wasn't filled, in choices not taken. That's where safety lives. That's where presence becomes visible. Respect isn't about charm. It's about holding still, even when it would be easier to push. And the men who understand that, who wait without pressure, leave behind something far more lasting than words. Break time. 1 second. Maybe no one ever told you. Maybe you thought being generous, polite, or careful was enough. But connection asks for more. It asks for honesty, attention, and the courage to be real. The truth is, we don't remember perfect clients. We remember the ones who showed up fully, who listened, who didn't try to impress, just tried to understand. If anything here stayed with you, hold on to it. Not for me, but for the next time you enter a room hoping to connect. And if this spoke to something quiet inside you, comment love below. I'll know you heard me.